Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see all of you for day 4 of Advancing Sciences. My name is Tanya Tatro, and I'm the Vice President for Manpower Group, and I've been involved with Advancing Sciences for several years. I'm also one of the founding board members of Million Women Mentors Minnesota and Trailblazers Live. Today, we have a featured session hosted by Medtronic, and then we'll transition into another round of speed mentoring with local business professionals. I'm joined this morning by my fellow executive leadership team member, Paul Kraus. Paul?
Hi, good morning. I'm really excited to be with you here today. My name is Paul Kraus. I'm a proud employee of Medtronic. Medtronic is a global leader in medical technology, services, and solutions. And our headquarters are right here in Minnesota. You might see our buildings if you live in the northern suburbs. We do a lot of really cool things from robotic surgery, brain stimulation, and what I work in the cardiac area. And what my team is responsible for is we build these really tiny monitors that go inside people's chests and monitor their heart condition over the course of about 5 years, which is really cool. And the whole time it's talking to an app on your cell phone. So there's a huge breadth of technologies that Medtronic is involved with. And the best part about all of it is it all goes directly towards helping people live fuller lives. So today I'm actually joined by a number of my colleagues from Medtronic, and they're going to be leading you in an activity to design a prosthetic hand. And you're actually going to use it to pick up some sort of an item that you have at your home. So make sure you've got your supplies ready. I think we're ready to jump in. So I'm going to turn it over to the team. Claire, why don't you take it away?
Sounds good. Thank you, Paul. Hi, everyone. My name is Claire Winchester. I am a quality engineer at Medtronic. And this year I've coordinated the breakout session for you all today. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining. I know this year is more than a little crazy, so we very much appreciate that you're with us today. So next slide, please. So here's our kind of high-level demographics. We're actually about 90,000 employees globally, with about 9,000 scientists and engineers. Medtronic benefits 65 million patients last year. That's actually a little bit outdated. We've gotten that number up higher now, but that's kind of our high level who we are and our employees. So next slide. As Paul mentioned, we are headquartered here in Minnesota. So these are our operational headquarters, but we also have global headquarters in Dublin, Ireland. So we are a fully global company. We're in about 160 different countries. So it's very exciting to be part of a company that really has global impact and affects patients all around the world. Next slide. So Medtronic does quite a lot in the medical technology space. As you can see here, we impact quite a different regions of the body. Like Paul mentioned, he works in the cardiac space, and I do as well. We work specifically with implantable cardiac devices, which is a pretty big impact that Medtronic has. One of our founders, Earl Bakken, invented the pacemaker, so you may or may not have heard about that before. But when you're in your breakout session and when you're with your mentor, please make sure that they tell you, and they might even have a demo of what medical device that they use. So typically when we're in person, we're able to pass around examples of these devices that we work on. But if they're able to share more about what they do, just make sure that you poke them if they don't. And next slide. So here's some examples. Typically we bring these along with us, but multiple different devices that do quite a bit of different things. So basically, whenever we have an idea for a new medical device and we have to translate it into a product, that's where the scientists and engineers come in. So similar to what we're going to have with you today, we're typically presented with a challenge or a customer need. And we fill that need by building prototypes and testing and making sure that it's all ready to go and regulatory compliant before we release it out into the world. And next slide. So here are other examples. We've got a pacemaker. We've just released the world's smallest pacemaker, probably about 5 years ago now. But the Micro, we're very proud of. It's the world's smallest pacemaker. That's what is shown in between that gloved hand right there. We've got a lot of improvements in the diabetes space, neuromodulation, spinal implants, stents. So these are all just examples that you might have seen before. And again, we've got mentors from all the different business units today. So whoever you're with should be able to tell you more about each of those. And next slide. So that brings us to our activity today. The challenge is to build a prosthetic hand. Usually we have ping pong balls. So in the past when we've done this activity, we have those available. I have sent out supply kits. So if you've received a kit, it's in a bag. They have the materials that you'll need for this challenge. You're also free to get creative and use other supplies that you have on hand. If you don't have the supplies, that is totally okay. What it is we've got about 3 feet of string. We've got some modeling clay or Play-Doh, straws. So just these are individually wrapped, but they're bendy straws. And a latex glove and paper clips, scissors, and tape are what I hope you'll be able to find somewhere in your vicinity. But we're going to spend probably about I believe it's the next 25 minutes working through this challenge. In a moment here, I'll show you just a few examples of creations that you might make. But this is your chance to get really creative. And typically this is done in a team building type style activity. So your engineering skills are really going to be put to the test today. We encourage you to get creative, think out of the box. Your mentors will guide you through it and ask you some kind of prompting questions to help you with your thinking. But we do want this to be a hands-on interactive activity. So just to reiterate, the engineering design process is to identify your problem, define your constraints, brainstorm. So I encourage those who are more artistically inclined to draw an idea of what your model might look like, and then continue that process. So design, brainstorm again. Be sure to build it as you go, because the last thing you want to do is save the building for the last 5 minutes and have it now work in the very end. And then ultimately we pick the best solution and we bring it to market. So I've also included a Medtronic branded lip balm. So that can be your challenge item to pick up. If not, feel free to use anything that you have readily available for your testing. And all these materials that have been provided are yours to keep. So I hope you have fun with this. So with that, I think I have one more slide. Yes, I do. Okay, so the images on the left are just some ideas, examples of what previous students have done. I will say they had a bit more time to build it, so don't feel pressured to kind of create it at that level. And then, of course, some prosthetic hand examples in practice now are more robotics-based, or yeah, I think they can get pretty fancy. So keep in mind, this is just a model. Engineers do this all the time. We create kind of cheaper models just for feasibility, and then before investing more money into kind of real prototypes. So with that, unless there are any questions right off the bat, I think this is where we transition into our breakout rooms. But I also want to say I encourage you to turn on your camera, unmute your line, and really engage with your mentor here, because they're very excited to meet with you today. Hi, everyone. So the challenge I have today is to design a prosthetic hand that is able to pick up a ping pong ball or any other small item you might have lying around. So when medical device engineers are designing a new product, we tend to grab whatever we can find that's available and create what we call a model or a prototype. So that's exactly what we're going to have you do today. You will see that there are some supplies that might have been supplied to you. If so, it'll look like in a baggie like this. But the materials in here are a string. It's about 3 feet of string. There are 5 individually wrapped bendy straws, a carton of Play-Doh or any kind of modeling clay you might have, and a latex glove to guide you. So any other thing you have lying around, you can get creative, cardboard, paper clips, scissors, tape, anything you can really think of to make your model functioning. And so we've also included a small lip balm as kind of a souvenir of your time doing this. But if that is your challenge item, great. If not, feel free to use whatever you have conveniently lying around. And just to reiterate the engineering process, typically we identify the problem. Sometimes it comes from a customer need or just something we know is missing from the market right now. Define your constraints. So what is the time frame that you have to do it? In this case, you'll have about 25 minutes to come up with your model. Brainstorm. And for those who are artistically inclined, I do encourage drawing out what you think your model might want to look like. Any additional just concept pictures that you'd like. You can certainly do some research as well, and repeat that process. So design, start to build, go back to it. The last thing that you want to do is wait till the very end to do your design or your build. Sorry, and the reason behind that is if it doesn't work, you won't really have time to troubleshoot at the end. So with that in mind, we will do that in real life, and then we'll pick the best solution, and then we'll bring it to market. So examples of ways to do this are with those 5 bendy straws, creating just kind of fingers, using the string to maneuver or create some kind of pulley system to maneuver them. Use a modeling clay for stability, and a paper clip to help move those strings. So those are just some ideas. I've seen everything and anything under the sun for this project. So please get creative, have fun, and don't be afraid to think like an engineer. And once you have your models put together, feel free to grab a picture of it and share it on social media. We would love to see your creation.
Oh, thanks so much. AHA team, do we have everyone back in the main room here?
We should. You're all set, Paul.
All right. So thanks so much. I wanted to say thanks to the Medtronic team and Claire and the whole team here. I thought it was a really cool problem. I mean, a prosthetic hand is actually one of the most challenging things you can do in biomedical engineering. You have to be able to grip, which means there has to be some strength behind it, but it can't be so strong that you crush things. It's got to have a lot of real tactile sensitivity as well. So it's actually a really challenging problem, and you had to do it with straws and things like that. So it's pretty cool. You know, I'm curious and here's where I'd encourage you to use the chat function here to share some thoughts. Did everyone stick to the script here and just try to pick up the chapstick or the lip balm, or was there other things that you tested your inventions on? Everyone's shy here so far, but encourage you to use the chat. You know, another thing I was curious about is, did people try to make a hand like with fingers, or do they come up with some other creative idea? You know, after all, the end of the day, the job was to pick up the lip balm. It wasn't necessarily to build a hand. So did anybody try anything real creative? I know in our team, Sydney actually came up with a finger and used a way with the Play-Doh to actually be able to grip it with just a single finger. So it was actually more efficient than if she had tried to build a full hand, which I thought that was really cool creativity. Anybody else try anything like that? I'd love to hear from people in the chat if anybody's feeling so bold. Okay, well, I wanted to thank all the students who participated. I also wanted to thank the Medtronic team for all the engagement in the activity. And I think I'm going to pass it to Claire before we go on to speed mentoring.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that, and definitely feel free to keep building. You know, I didn't give you a lot of time to really create today, so please feel free to continue on and refine your prototype. And I think we'll kick it over to Paul and Tanya for the speed mentoring. But thank you all so much.
Thanks, Claire. So today we have more local leaders in STEAM here with us to answer all of your questions regarding and related to professions in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So just like Tuesday's segment, we're going to split you out into breakout rooms with small groups of students and some of our mentors. And after 10 minutes, we'll then move each of you into a room with a mentor. And that segment will last for about 20 minutes total, and you'll meet with 2 different mentors by the end. But before we get started, I wanted to just take a few minutes and really share with each of you the importance of having a mentor. So when you think about this, mentors and someone that can guide you, they can share knowledge, they can inspire you, they can encourage your interest to advance in STEAM, and they can also boost your confidence in your own potential and give you the assurance that your goals can be reached. So when you think about all the different ways that you can connect with a mentor, there's several organizations out there. There's several things that you can do individually, but there's a couple organizations that I'd like to personally highlight that can be a valuable resource to you. One of them is Million Women Mentors Minnesota. And as you heard me say it at the beginning of the call, I'm one of the founding members of Million Women Mentors Minnesota. And they're really a cross-corporate, governmental, educational network that's passionate about connecting students, parents, educators, and nonprofits and organizations that's aligned to advancing diversity in STEM. And then what stemmed out of Million Women Mentors Minnesota is Trailblazers Live. And this has been a brand evolution of mentoring event panel model that was created by Million Women Mentors. And their goal is to expose, experience, and encourage more women and girls towards careers in STEM. And Trailblazers Live is a digital platform via YouTube, podcasts, social media channels, and it provides high school and college-aged women across the world with information, education, and inspiration to choose STEM career pathways. So if you're interested in learning more about either of these opportunities, please visit our Advancing Sciences website and our Celebration of Science page that's featured on Million Women Mentors videos as well as our Trailblazers Live. And then we also will share some information directly in the chat on these organizations as well. So Paul,
That's great.
I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. One last reminder before we go into speed mentoring, if you're having trouble thinking of questions on your own, we've got a few kind of starter questions for you if you flip to page 10 and 11 in your program. And so as we start, we encourage you to flip your video on, ask questions, use the chat. Now's a great time to engage with some local STEM leaders.
Fantastic. And Sarah, are we ready to start the first speed mentor break?
Yep, we're ready.
All right, fantastic. Have fun, enjoy. And we'll go into our first room now. Have fun. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you so much to our mentors that have been here with us today. We greatly appreciate your time.
I work at a company called Medtronic here in the Twin Cities. It's one of the world's largest medical device companies. And I've worked there my whole career, and I've been really excited to be there. Really how I got into engineering is I was always interested in science in high school and computers. And so I ended up majoring in electrical engineering at a smaller college out in Indiana called Valparaiso University. And while I was there, I had this experience with my mentor at one of the professors at the college said, what I always thought was the coolest thing to work on was things related to the body, like medical devices. Because, what you end up doing as an engineer is you end up helping people really, really directly. And there's just no substitute for that. And he really got me kind of hooked on this idea. So after I graduated from college, I decided I wanted to be a biomedical engineer. So I chose the University of Minnesota to do my graduate degree. And the reason I chose the University of Minnesota is, number one, it's an awesome school. But secondly, all the medical device companies, or at least a lot of the big ones, are in the Twin Cities. So this is kind of like the Silicon Valley of medical device industry. So I ended up following that passion up to Minnesota. I'm not originally from Minnesota, but I've been here ever since, and have had a really fulfilling career, using my knowledge of electrical engineering as well as the body from my time as a biomedical engineer to work on a lot of really different cool cardiac devices is kind of where I've worked most of my career, and we use electricity to treat.
Hello, my name is Tanya Tatro, and I'm happy to share with you today the story of my career journey. I attended college at the University of Minnesota Duluth, and there I received a bachelor's degree in business administration with an emphasis on human resource management and a minor in communications. I decided to attend college at UMD for two reasons. They had a great nursing program and business program. I was an undecided major when I first started college, but I knew that I wanted to do something that allowed me to help others. The second reason is that I absolutely love the outdoors, and Duluth really offered many unique areas to hike and explore. And while I focused on my studies, I also held a couple jobs. One was a work-study opportunity where I worked as a supervisor of the UMD Phone-a-thon. And my co-supervisor, she was a senior at that time, and she was graduating that year with a focus in human resources. And when she described the major to me, I instantly knew that that was the field that I wanted to pursue to explore my passions. And then I got involved as the president of the UMD Society of Human Resource Management. And that year we took the club to our state HR convention where we volunteered. And this is where I got introduced to Manpower Group. And now, looking back, that was almost 19 years ago. And I've accepted an opportunity with them where I've served in a variety of different roles. And Manpower Group is an organization that's a customizable workforce solution company that really serves our clients end-to-end in a variety of different solutions surrounding talent. And when you think about talent, we help individuals in a variety of STEAM areas. So I've had the opportunity to help our business partners find talent in areas such as information technology, engineering, science, and math, and beyond. And it was there where my true passion got sparked in terms of looking at how we advance individuals in STEM. So a group of individuals got involved, and we started Million Women Mentors Minnesota. And Million Women Mentors is focused on advancing women and girls in STEM through a variety of different ways. We focus on tours, panels, and events and mentoring opportunities. And when you think about what we do, we truly want to connect, we want to expose, and we want to encourage young individuals to stay within a STEM career. I encourage you to look at our social media sites and learn more about the opportunity to get connected. And our Trailblazers Live program was created out of our panel program, and it's a YouTube channel that allows you to continue to get exposed to individuals within STEAM careers. So I'd encourage you also to take a look at our Trailblazers Live program. And I just want to say a sincere thank you to each and every one of you for taking part in the Advancing Sciences event. I hope that you found it beneficial. Please reach out and connect and continue to explore areas within STEM. And just wanted to wish each of you a lot of success in your career future. Thanks for your time today.
Appreciate everybody's involvement today. And just a reminder, our last day of Advancing Sciences is tomorrow, starting at 12:30. So we hope to see you there.